Today I'm going to show you how to make a textured square like this one. It's accomplished by working in the back loop only from the second round on out. This particular square has got 7 rounds and it has a front side that you see here. You tell by the very center, and then it has a back side which you can see looks different at the center than on the other side. So anyhow, this is what we're going to do. You will need worsted weight yarn and a G or an H hook or anything in between. Sometimes you can use an I hook. I find that you get the best effect with 4.5 to 5, but you know, depending on how tightly you crochet or what the purpose is, you might find that a 5.5 millimeter also suits you. And so let's get started. I have a crochet tension regulator here that I'm using and an H hook, and I'm going to start by chaining 4. Whenever I make something that's going to be used like as a blanket or a hat or something where babies could get their fingers in and work things loose, I always use a chain loop rather than a magic circle. Magic circle's great for amigurumi. It's not so great for Afghans. So anyway, I'm going to start by chaining 4, and then I'm going to insert the hook into the first chain made and form a loop. Now here's where I have a technique that I use where I chain 1, and that chain 1 counts as the first single crochet, and so I'm going to mark that because that can be a little hard to see till you're used to it. Now I'm going to work the other 7 single crochets in there. So that's my second one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it starts off looking just pretty round. And now I'm going to insert the hook into this back loop only. And from here on out, we'll be working only in the back loop. And if you're right-handed, you want to do what I do, and you will look down and you will turn the piece counterclockwise so that the yarn is crossing in the front. If you're left-handed, you want to turn it clockwise so that you turn and the yarn is crossing in the front. Now I'm going to chain 1. That again is going to count as the first stitch of this round, and I'm going to be making the corners now. So that was my first chain, and it's going to be in the middle of one side, and now I'm going to work 3 single crochets into this next stitch, and that is my first corner. And this, I'm only working into the back loop. You can kind of see that there. So now I'm going to work 1 single crochet into the next back loop, 3 single crochets into what will form the second corner, a single crochet into the back loop only again. Once you get used to it, it's very easy to remember to do it, but it can be hard when you're going back and forth between projects that require a back loop only and those that don't. And so there we have our third corner formed. And we'll make another single crochet, and now this is going to be our 4th corner, and as it happens, it's also going to be time for us to join to that first stitch that we made. So we'll go in the back loop there. I'm going to take out the stitch marker. And then again, right-handed you'll turn counterclockwise, left-handed you turn clockwise. Chain 1. And again, I'm going to mark this because until you've done it a while, it can be hard to see when you get around back to it. So that was 1. So now I'm going to work a single crochet in the next stitch. Now I'm back to the middle of my corner, so I'm at the second of the 3rd stitches, so 3 stitches from the first round. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to work a single crochet in the back loop of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. This is the third round, and it's all about the number 3. And now we're ready to work our second corner, so we're going to work 3 single crochets into this back loop, and then a single crochet into the next 3 stitches. And again, we're at a corner, so we need to put 3 stitches all into 1 stitch, and we did that. And now we're going to work our way across this last row of 3. 1, 2, 3. And in the next stitch, we're going to work our last corner. So we'll put 3 single crochet stitches into that 1 back loop. And now we have just 1 stitch left to make, so we're going to make the last stitch of this round. And then we're going to join it as we did the previous 2. You just stick it through that back loop from that chain at the beginning. And now we're going to turn counterclockwise if you're right-handed, clockwise if you're left-handed. Chain 1. And again, until you get used to it, you probably want to mark it with the stitch marker. It'll save you a lot of aggravation and frogging. So that was 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to work our corner stitch. So that's going to be 3 single crochets into 1 back loop. And last time we did 3 across, so this time we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch for 5 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can tell that we're working even round because we've got the back of the motif facing us. And we're ready to do our second corner, so 3 single crochets into this back loop. And now we're going to do a single crochet in the next 5 back loops. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now another corner, so 3 single crochets all into 1 back loop. And now we go across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to do 3 crochets into this 1 back loop, and we'll be done with our last corner of the 4th round. And now we have 2 stitches left that we need to work in order to get to the stitch in the center of the side, and we're going to go into that back loop to join. And now we're ready to turn. Again, if you're right-handed, turn counterclockwise. If you're left-handed, turn clockwise. I hope you can hear me over the chat. There's our chain 1 for our first single crochet. We'll mark that so we can see it, and then we do a single crochet in the 2nd stitch, and the 3rd stitch, and the 4th stitch. And so now we're to our first corner again, so we're going to work 3 single crochets. And now we're going to work 7 single crochets in each of the back loops across here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we're going to do the corner. So 3 single crochets into that back loop, and then again a single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 single crochets into the corner, and then a single crochet in the back loop of the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and we're at our last corner, so 3 single crochets into the back loop. It's good we know what we're doing by now because we have yet another jet landing. And so we have 3 more stitches to work, 1 in each of these back loops. 1, 2, 3. Now we just have 2 more rounds. We're gonna join by inserting the hook into that back loop of the first chain 1. That counts as a slip stitch. Oh, we're getting so close. So now we're going to chain 1. Again, I'm going to mark that first loop for anybody who might just be coming in. So 2, that's our second, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and we are to our first corner, and so for that we're going to work 3 single crochets into the 1 back loop. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to work a single crochet into each of the next 9 back loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then a corner, and now 9 more stitches across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh. And we're to our 3rd corner. Oh, I see my squares getting in the picture there. We'll move that. 1, 2, 3. And again, we're going to go across and we're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 9 back loops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're on our last corner. And you can tell that we're on an even round because, again, the back side of this motif is facing us, so this must be round 6. We're going to work 1, 2, 3 single crochets into that 1 back loop. And we should have 4 stitches left to work, and we'll do that now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to join with a slip stitch to this back loop of the chain 1. And we just finished, for our purposes, the penultimate round. I love that word. There really aren't that many occasions you get to use it, but you know, it's that one before the last. And so now we're going to do the last round, and again, we're going to turn counterclockwise if we're right-handed and clockwise if we're left-handed. Then we do a chain 1, mark that front loop, and now we're going to do, I think it is 5 more stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So counting our first chain 1 single crochet, we've got 6, and now we're going to work 3 single crochets into the corner. And now we're going to go cruise right along here and make 11 stitches, one in each of the 11 back loops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The yarn is not unwinding very well. 10, 11. Okay, so we're ready for another corner, so that is 3 single crochets into 1 back loop. And now we're going to go all the way across, another 11 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, and stitch number 11 is just in time for another jet landing. Very busy afternoon at Raleigh-Durham Airport. Now we're going to work 3 single crochets into this back loop. 1, 2, 3, and then a single crochet in the next 11 stitches, back loop only. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and so we are ready for our next 3 single crochets into our last corner of this motif. 1, 2, 3, and then we have 5 more stitches, and we are so close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, we're going to insert the hook into that back loop only. Pull through, only we're calling this one done. And when you get a bunch of these together, you start, and you put them together, you start to see designs in these spaces that are very subtle when you're working on any individual square. But when you put them all together, they really show up. You don't need to leave a long tail. You need one long enough. I like 6 to 8 inches to weave in, but you don't need a really long one because you're not going to be joining with this tail. You do that another way. And anyway, that is how you make a textured crochet square. And once you get used to this method of making squares, there's all kinds of things you'll think of to do, and you'll just make so many amazing things.